For years I had worked as a nurse, witnessing all kinds of patients and stories unfold before my eyes. I thought I had seen it all, until the day Dylan arrived. He was young, barely in his 20s, with striking blue eyes and a mischievous smirk that seemed to carry a secret. From the moment I saw him, something inside me shifted. I knew it was unprofessional, but resisting him felt impossible. Dylan was unlike any patient I had ever encountered. He exuded confidence, charm, and an effortless ability to make me blush. He flirted shamelessly, and though I tried to keep my distance, the growing tension between us became harder to ignore. One afternoon, while assisting him to the bathroom, he suddenly pulled me close, his lips inches from my ear. "You're beautiful," he whispered. I froze, my heart pounding. I should have stepped away, drawn a firm line between us, but I couldn't. A wave of longing surged through me, and before I knew it, Dylan leaned in. His lips met mine, and I surrendered to the moment. We stumbled back into his room, our hands desperate to explore each other. Logic screamed at me to stop, to remember my duty, but desire drowned out every rational thought. Dylan's hands roamed my body, his breath hot against my skin as he guided me onto the bed. His touch was electric, igniting a fire deep inside me. He whispered against my lips, his voice raw with hunger. "I want you." I should have resisted. I should have told him no. But I didn't. As our bodies moved together, the world outside faded away. There was no hospital, no rules, no consequences. Only the overwhelming heat of passion. Each touch, each kiss, each whispered breath pulled me deeper into the abyss. Hours later, we lay tangled in the sheets, our bodies slick with sweat, our chests rising and falling in unison. I knew I should feel guilty, that I had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. But in that moment, all I felt was alive. And I wanted more. I began sneaking into Dylan's room at night, slipping between the hospital's quiet corridors like a ghost. In the darkness, we became lost in each other, our bodies entwined in a secret world that only we knew. Days turned into weeks, our forbidden affair growing more intense, more reckless. But deep down, I knew it couldn't last forever. One night, after yet another stolen moment of passion, I lay in Dylan's arms, my heart heavy with unspoken truths. "This has to stop," I whispered, my voice barely audible. "It can't go on like this." Dylan tensed beside me, his fingers tightening around mine. For the first time, his confidence wavered, replaced by something heavier, something I couldn't quite place. "I know," he murmured. A long silence stretched between us before he sat up, his expression unreadable. "I have to tell you something," he said. Dread coiled in my stomach. "What is it?" I asked, my voice shaking. Dylan inhaled deeply, as if gathering the strength to say the words that would shatter everything. "I'm dying." My breath caught in my throat. The world tilted beneath me. Everything changed in an instant. "I have terminal cancer," Dylan whispered, his voice barely audible. His blue eyes shimmered with unshed tears. "I only have a few months left." I froze, his words echoing in my mind like a cruel joke. My breath hitched, my heart pounding in my chest. This couldn't be real. "I didn't want to tell you," he continued, his voice cracking under the weight of his pain. "I didn't want you to get hurt." Tears blurred my vision as I reached for his hand, gripping it tightly as if holding on could somehow stop time. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked, my voice trembling. Dylan let out a shaky breath, his expression torn between sadness and regret. "Because I didn't want you to stay with me out of pity," he admitted. "I didn't want to be a burden." A sharp ache spread through my chest as I leaned forward, pressing my lips to his. I lingered there, letting him feel the depth of my love. When I pulled away, I whispered, "You're not a burden. I love you." For the first time in days, Dylan's face lit up with happiness. He pulled me into his arms, holding me close as if he never wanted to let go. "I love you too," he murmured. From that moment on, we vowed to make the most of the time we had left. We loved without hesitation, laughed until our sides ached, and shared our deepest secrets. Every moment was precious, every second a gift. But even love couldn't stop the inevitable. One evening, Dylan's condition worsened. His body was weak, his breaths shallow. I sat by his bedside, holding his hand, whispering words of comfort into his ear. "I'm here," I said softly. "I love you." He gave me a small, tired smile. And then, just like that, he was gone. A sharp, gut-wrenching sob tore through me. I clung to his hand, my tears falling onto the crisp white sheets as I whispered my final goodbye. Leaving the hospital that day felt like leaving a part of my soul behind. The world outside felt empty, the air too thick to breathe. I wandered the streets aimlessly, lost in my grief, drowning in the memories of the man I loved. Then one day I found myself standing in front of a church. Without thinking, I stepped inside, my heart heavy with sorrow. The quiet stillness wrapped around me like a comforting embrace. And for the first time since Dylan's death, I let go. Prayed. I prayed for Dylan, for the love we had shared, and for the strength to move forward. When I left the church that day, something inside me had shifted. The pain was still there, but it no longer felt unbearable. I knew Dylan wouldn't want me to drown in my grief. He would want me to live. So I did. I began volunteering at a local soup kitchen, dedicating my time to helping those who had no one else. And then one day I met someone new. His name was Ben. He was kind, compassionate, and patient. We started spending more time together, and slowly, piece by piece, he helped me heal. I knew no one could ever replace Dylan. No one ever would. But love doesn't replace. It grows, evolves, and finds new ways to exist. Ben and I fell in love. We got married, started a family, and built a life together. And though a part of me would always belong to Dylan, I finally understood that love was not meant to be confined to a single chapter of life. As the years passed, I saw glimpses of Dylan in my children. In their laughter, in their kindness, in the way they loved without fear. He was still with us, woven into the very fabric of our lives. And so, I continued forward, embracing the beauty of life while carrying Dylan's memory in my heart. Because in the end, love never truly fades. It lingers, shapes us, and lives on in the stories we tell and the lives we touch. And I knew without a doubt that love, true love, is the greatest gift of all.